1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mike Heading here. I'm coming to you today with another bluegrass mandolin lesson. This time we're going to be talking about bluegrass double stops. So a double stop is just a term for playing two notes at the same time, but adding double stops to your playing is a big part of the bluegrass sound. It's going to fill up your solos. It's a way to add harmonies. It's also a great way to learn the fretboard. So I'm going to take you through a basic bluegrass chord progression in the key of G and show you a bunch of double stops that will work for each chord in this progression. I'm also going to show you how to move these around to different strings so you can play them in a bunch of different keys. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeadingMusic.com, and grab the full lesson. It'll come with all the videos, all the practice tracks, and all the tabs with this lesson. Alright, here's bluegrass double stops in G. Alright, let's start breaking down this bluegrass double stop lesson, and I just put the exercises to a basic bluegrass chord progression in the key of G. G, C, G, D. So that's going to be our basic chord progression for this exercise, but these double stops can be used for any chord progression. So I want you to think of all these double stops that I'm going to show you as different positions or tools in your toolbox that you can use, so you can apply these to lots of different songs. I'll even show you how to move it around to different strings so you can play the double stops in different keys. So let me play the first four measures, and then I'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that again. Okay, so I'm just doing it with tremolo to practice, but I'll show you a couple other picking patterns you can do as well. So we're going to start with this basic bluegrass double stop. We're going to start with our first finger of our left hand on the second fret of the A string, and our third finger, our ring finger, up on the fifth fret of the D string. So we've got fifth fret and second fret. Basically working out of this bigger G shape, we're just playing the two middle strings. And what I want you to practice, there's a couple things we can practice with this lesson. One is getting really good tone with our right hand, making sure we're playing through both pairs of strings. So I'm really making sure all the four middle strings are ringing. What I'd recommend is even looking down at the strings and make sure you're playing all of them, especially on the up strokes. That's the hard part, is getting all four on the ups. The other thing you could do is play them each one at a time. So you could play the D string, and then play the A string, and then maybe, go back and forth. That's good practice for figuring out how you have to bend your hand so you're not muting either of those strings, right? Or you could try it with how I was doing with tremolo. Or, all downs. The picking pattern doesn't really matter as much. What you want to practice is getting good tone with your double stops, keeping your pressure of your left hand down. Our next one is a C, so you can do that for one measure. So you could either tremolo for 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, or play 4 down quarter notes. What we want to practice is just playing one measure there. Then what we're going to do is add our second finger onto the third fret of the A string, and then that's a C double stop. You can even keep your first finger down if you want to, and what you want to practice is just adding your second finger while keeping your third finger down. So that's a C. Again, you can play them each one at a time, kind of do your string test. Do your string test there, make sure they're both ringing out. Then we're going to go back to G, so take your second finger off, go back to your first finger on the second fret, back to G, and then we're going to take our second finger and put it on the fourth fret of the D string and do the open A and fourth fret on the D. That's a D double stop. So we've got G, C, G, and then D. And again, like I said, you can play them all down and ups. Because these double stops are also spots where you can look for your melodies for solos too. So it's good practice to kind of think of these as positions that you can start, you know, working on your ear training as well. And think of these as positions too. You'll eventually be able to play for solos. And double stops are a great way to add harmony. So let's say I have a note, my melody note's on the 2nd fret. You know, that's my melody note that I want to highlight for my solo. Now I've got a lower note, that 5th fret, that I can harmonize with. So I can use double stops for harmonies as well. The other thing you can practice is sliding into the double stops. Or hammering on, like on that C1 you could hammer on. You know, you can practice sliding into them and hammering on once you get it down. So we've got G, C, G, D. That's the top line. That's the first 4 measures. So let's just even practice that same thing on the other strings. So let's go up to the high sounding strings. This would be in the key of D. So we've got D. Same move, G. So put your 2nd finger on, that's a G now. D, and then 2nd finger down, that's an A. So all the same positions, we just moved it down the strings. Let's try it on the lowest sounding strings. This would be in C. So we've got C, F, C, G. So use these, again, take these exercises and move them around. It's all the same shapes, use the same fingerings, and all you have to do is just move it down or up and you'll be in a different key. Okay, so let's go to measure 5.